Hello, Costa Rica travelers. My name is Christian Oy. I'm the program director for Oklahoma Study Abroad. I apologize that I can't be there in person. I'm currently in Italy conducting a program. Today we're going to discuss a lot of the materials for the trip and a lot of important things for preparing for the trip to help ensure that you have a great time while you're there and just make the whole travel process easier for you. Everything that I covered today in the video, I'm going to send you, so don't worry about taking too many notes or anything. You're going to have the electronic version during your meeting. So what I'm going to talk about initially is the pre-trip, the flight information, packing list, things like this, and then we'll dive into the itinerary, which is a little bit more fun. So, flight information. Make sure that you arrive at the airport 2 hours prior to departure. Make sure you build in plenty of time to get there. The last thing you want is to be stressed out when traveling to the airport and concerned that you might miss your flight. So make sure you build in plenty of cushion, get there early, and 2 hours before departure. I sent email confirmations to everyone with the flight information. For some reason, if you didn't receive that, please let me know, and I'll resend it to you. Additionally, make sure you double check your name on your flight confirmation and that it matches your passport. That's essential. We can still change that right now, no problem, but if it's the day of, it'll be a little bit more difficult, and I'll have to kind of beg the airlines. So make sure you take care of that in advance. How much can you check on? This is a big question that a lot of the travelers will ask. How much can I carry on? How much can I check on? Okay, I'm going to encourage you to carry your bags on the plane. The reason is I personally like to travel carry on. I like to know where my bag is. It's right above my head, and my additional backpack's under my seat. I like to do that. Now, the only problem with doing that, especially when you're going to Costa Rica, is that you're only allowed 1 quart-sized bag filled with 3-ounce to 4-ounce bottles. This can be challenging in Costa Rica because the sun's quite strong, so you need a lot of sunscreen, or you might need aloe vera, or you might need bug repellent. Now, if you do need to check on your bag, or if you have medications that are larger than the ones that will fit in the quart-sized bag, you can absolutely check on your bag. It's not a problem. We're going to wait for you at the airport. The guides and myself will be there waiting for you. So if you do need to check your bag, go for it. Another solution, if you are going to carry on, and the reason I say when we're talking about sunscreen and bug spray, those things are a lot more expensive in Costa Rica than they are if you purchase them back home. So in your quart-sized bag, what I would recommend doing is just getting the refill bottles. You can find these at Target, at Walmart, in the travel section. And basically, you can fill your own bottles with cheaper sunscreen from back home and cheaper bug spray and aloe vera, for example. The other things that you might need toiletry-wise, toothpaste, shampoo, body wash, this kind of stuff, you can buy that in Costa Rica for the same price as you would back home. But the sunscreen, the bug spray, etc., those are more expensive. They're kind of taking advantage of the fair-skinned tourists that are coming to visit Costa Rica. So keep that in mind. I would recommend at least 50 SPF for sunscreen. No matter how tan you get back home and how dark you get, you will burn in Costa Rica. We're a lot closer to the equator. The sun is very, very strong, and even on a cloudy day, those UV rays are still getting through. So, and we're going to remind you constantly throughout the program, sunscreen, 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 and lots of hydration. Those are the two main problems when it comes to medical conditions out in Costa Rica that people have problems with. They get dehydrated or they get extreme sunburn. So keep that in mind. I'm going to move on a little bit. We're going to talk about the packing list in more detail here in a second. So a lot of those questions will be answered for packing accordingly to ensure that you cover yourself properly and stuff like that. But if you do check on a bag, it's 50 pounds at the most. You definitely don't need that much stuff when you are checking your bag. I recommend utilizing backpacking bags as well as maybe duffel bags. If you are going to bring a suitcase, make sure that it's a small carry-on suitcase. Please don't bring down one of those six-month suitcases. It's definitely too big. You don't need all of that while you're down there. So pack light, and it'll be much more enjoyable for you. Scroll down the page a little bit. Guys, if you're bringing medications on the trip, they need to be in their original bottle. So the prescription needs to be on the outside of the bottle. You can't just pack you can't bring a Ziploc baggie full of pills. It'll be confiscated, okay? So medications, make sure they're in their original bottles. Make sure it has the prescription on the outside, and you're good to go. Remember our packing suggestions that are going to be in these electronic documents that I'm sending you. They'll help ensure for a smooth trip, and it'll be much easier for you. We've compiled from the past 5 years of taking groups down to Costa Rica. Each year, we ask the students what was missing on the list, what could be added to the list, and so this list has constantly evolved, and it's pretty thorough. It covers most everything. While we're in Costa Rica, we're going to be there during the green season, which is the rainier season, but it's very enjoyable. It's not a cold rain. It's a very nice tropical rain. Typically, the rain will start about 1 p.m. in the afternoon. The sun rises at 6, the sun sets at 6, and then from 6 in the morning till about 1, it's just perfect. There's no rain, just pure sun. It's great. Around 1 p.m., there'll be a nice little shower, and then possibly throughout the afternoon, there might be showers off and on. Sometimes they'll last for 30 seconds, sometimes they'll last for 10 minutes. But again, it helps cool down. It's more enjoyable. In my opinion, it's the best time to go down. In February and March, January, it can be just absolutely too hot. So you're going down during the right time. In the evenings, throughout the night, typically it rains. But again, it's enjoyable. So how do you pack for this trip? What do you need? What's the weather going to be like? The weather's going to be 80 degrees every single day. It's sometimes you'll look at the weather forecast and there has to be a problem or a glitch in the system. There's no way it's going to be 80 degrees every day, but it will be. It'll be 80 degrees every day, quite humid, and yeah, we're going to the tropics. So, there's going to be rain. We're going to be in the rainforest, so be prepared to get a little bit wet. What do you need on a trip like this, packing-wise? Well, you need shorts. So either swim trunks or cargo shorts. I recommend thin clothing that can dry quickly, okay? So like jeans and stuff like that are not recommended. They take too long to dry and it'll just be too hot. So try to get quick, dry clothing. All of this stuff you can find for cheap at like Ross, for example. I always recommend going to Ross. You can find reusable water bottles there for very cheap. You can find hiking shoes there for very cheap. You can find water shoes. You can find duffel bags, backpacks, etc. So I recommend starting there, Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, places like this. And then if you do want to invest in some proper gear and you think that you're going to be doing this trip a lot more, then you can check out websites like Camp More, CAMPMOR, or just Google shopping online, or you can go to like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Any of those places are going to have all of the stuff that we're talking about. So make sure you bring plenty of shorts, t-shirts, tank tops, other types of tops. As many as you can squeeze into your bag. Make sure that you bring adequate clothing for 2 weeks of travel. There will be opportunities to do laundry along the way. So if you want to pack super light, then you can still do laundry. Typical laundry, a load will cost about $5, and they'll wash it, they'll dry it, and sometimes they'll even fold it for you. And we'll be able to do that. At least 3 of the locations that we're visiting have that service. So you can do laundry if you need to, or you can do it the old-fashioned way by hand and then just hang dry it in the morning. Swimsuits. Pack as many swimsuits as possible. The ladies tend to say that they wish they would have brought more swimsuits down. So guys, a couple pair of swim trunks, you're good to go. You can wash them out, hang dry them. Ladies, your swimsuits are smaller typically than the guys, so pack as many as you can, and you go from there. You need closed-toe hiking shoes, okay? We're going to be getting off the trail a little bit, getting into the bush and stuff. You need to have shoes that are closed-toed, okay? There'll be insects. Most snakes are quite timid, and they won't mess with you unless you provoke them. But just to be safe, you need to have closed-toed shoes. That goes with spiders and other kinds of insects as well, and additional plants that might cause a rash. So closed-toed hiking shoes for sure. You don't have to buy big hiking shoes, but something that has a little bit of tread. So if you have some old sneakers that has tread, those are just fine. But some of the trails will be a little bit slippery, a little bit muddy, and if you have a little bit of tread, you'll fall a lot less. So keep that in mind. Flip-flops. You'll definitely need flip-flops while you're down there. Costa Rica is very casual clothing, very beach, kind of beach style. You're going to need flip-flops for the beach, obviously, and for just walking around town. And then you'll also need them for the communal showers whenever we're staying in the hostels and places like this. The reason is like, for me, it's just good practice. Anytime you're not showering in your own shower, I like to wear flip-flops just because you don't want to get some weird athlete's foot or something from someone else. So wear flip-flops, closed-toed hiking shoes. Also water shoes. Water shoes are very important. You can get the cheap ones for like $5 from Academy, the kind of mesh ones with the rubber sole on the bottom, or you can get something a little bit more expensive. Keen, Keen, is very good. Chacos are good. Tivas are good. You need some type of water shoes because these will be essential when we go whitewater rafting. They don't let you wear flip-flops. You have to have water shoes or old sneakers. And then also when we're visiting the waterfalls and the rivers, some of the rocks can be a little bit sharp or they might be slippery. So some type of water shoes to wear in the river, whitewater rafting, etc. And if we're just doing hiking on some of the trails, like in Cahuita National Park or San Antonio National Park, you don't need your hiking shoes. Those are more beach sand trails. So those type of water shoes will be perfect for that. Let's see here. Sleepwear, guys, bring something that's appropriate for the dormitory and the room share situations. Additionally, you're going to need a water resistant jacket or poncho. Okay, if you don't mind getting wet, then you don't need one. But I prefer to stay dry unless I'm actually in the water. So you can get like a cheap little waterproof jacket for $20 from Academy or something. Or if you're on a budget, you can get a $1 poncho. Nobody will judge you. A lot of people wear ponchos down in Costa Rica, so whatever you prefer, whatever's in your budget, go with that. But try to get either a jacket or a poncho or something. And again, if you don't mind getting wet, then forget it, not a problem. Evening wear. We like to take you out in the night and show you where the locals go and where they hang out. So bring something that you can wear out in the evening as well. Ladies, summer dresses, stuff like that. Guys, just a nicer t-shirt than a tank top or something, and some shorts or whatever, and you're fine. Costa Rica is very casual, so please don't bring like high heels and things like this. It's not necessary, okay? But we do want to show you that part of the culture as well. Go do a little salsa, reggaeton dance and stuff in the evening. And so just bring something to wear out at night. We're going to be going in a bit higher altitude when we're in the central region in the highlands. So in the evenings, it'll be a bit cooler than when we're on the South Pacific and when we're down in the South Caribbean. So in that case, you might need a lightweight, thin jacket or like a hoodie or something like that, just in case you get cold, okay? Whatever you do pack, make sure it's small. Make sure it doesn't take up too much room in your bag. You definitely do not need a coat, okay? You don't need a coat. Whatever it is, just it won't drop below the 60s, okay, when we're up in the higher altitudes, but it can get a little cool, especially if there's some rain and some wind, so pack accordingly, okay? Very important, especially for the biology students or the ones that are participating in NSU's program or in USAO's program or the OCCC students that want to go do the turtle watch, the conservation project we do in Gandoca. If you do want to come on that, which majority of you are going on that, you need to have dark clothing, okay? So nothing fluorescent, nothing neon. It has to be dark, earth tones. So black, brown, green, whatever. Make sure it's dark. The reason is because bright colors like that will distract the turtles, and a lot of times they will not come up on the beach to lay the eggs, and that's the whole reason we're there. So if you are wearing something bright, neon fluorescent, they'll make you change into something else. So bring something that's thin, lightweight, and that's dark colored, okay? Towels. All right, guys, get quick dry towels or thin towels that will dry quickly, okay? Reason is if you bring big, bulky kind of like beach towels, they're gonna soak up too much water, and by the end of the second week, it's gonna smell like mildew and wet dog, and you don't want that in your bag, okay? So bring thin, lightweight towels, smaller towels, that can pack easily, that won't take up too much room, and it'll be much better for you. And you might want to bring one or two. If you get the quick dry towels, those are awesome because they can soak up like a liter of water, and then you can wring them out, and then within 5 to 10 minutes they're dry again. And so if it does start to get a little mildewy, halfway through the trip, wash it. Soap water, wring it out, dry it, you're good to go. You have a fresh towel. You can buy those online through the website I mentioned, Campmore. I'm pretty sure Academy and stuff like that also carries the quick dry towels. So some of them can be quite small. I recommend getting like the larger one. It'll definitely, you spend $10 more, but it'll definitely pay off. Let's see. Day pack. So we talked about the initial bag, either bringing a backpacking bag or a duffel bag or a sports bag and or a small suitcase. But you also need to have a day pack, okay? You need to have a smaller backpack that you can have on your back whenever we're going to the national park. So you can keep your bird watching guide in it. You can keep your journal in it. You can keep your camera, your water bottle, your maps, etc. Whatever you want to keep in there, you've got it on you. So 2 bags, your big bag and your smaller day pack. So that way you don't have to crate around the big bag whenever we're going out on the different excursions, okay? You need a reusable water bottle, so you can either get like a Nalgene water bottle, or you can get one of these. This is my favorite. It's a collapsible water bottle. Holds a liter of water. It's great. It fits absolutely everywhere. But get something, guys, preferably BPA free. You don't want those harmful toxins in your body. So if you can, get a reusable water bottle. The water's paddable everywhere except for in Cahuita, which the water's decent, but I don't recommend drinking it, especially in large consumptions, because a lot of times people get traveler's diarrhea there. So what we do in Cahuita is we buy big jugs of water so everybody can refill their water bottles and stuff throughout the night when we're staying at the hostel. And then during the day, you can just buy a water bottle from the store and fill up your reusable water bottle. Okay, but the rest of the water throughout the country is 100% safe to drink. It's not like in Mexico or in other places in Central America or even South America. So don't waste all that extra money on buying water when you can use the tap water. Okay, it's more environmentally friendly and it's more friendly for your pocket. All right. You need a couple of gallon-sized Ziploc baggies. The reason is because we're going to be in the rainforest, so there might be a sudden downpour, and sometimes you'll get soaked entirely through. And the thing is that if you have your day pack on you and you have your phone in there, your camera that's not waterproof in there, your journals or whatever, and you get soaked through, your stuff might potentially be ruined, and we don't want that to happen. So get a couple of gallon-sized Ziploc baggies to keep your stuff safe in the case that you do just get completely drenched, okay? You need a few small plastic trash bags, not like the big hefty black trash bags, but the little thin plastic ones, trash can liner bags. Those are excellent for separating dirty clothes from clean clothes, wet clothes from dry clothes, okay guys? So bring a couple of those as well. If you do wear eyeglasses or contacts, bring an extra pair. That you might lose one in the water. Anything could happen. You might break a pair of glasses. So make sure you have extras of whatever you're bringing in that case. So that way, if you do lose it, we don't have to go to the pharmacy, etc., and try to find backups for you. Pack accordingly in that way. Whatever you need, make sure you bring it. Okay. Over-the-counter meds, very important. If you have any kind of motion sickness, you need Dramamine or something similar. The reason is a lot of the roads are very windy in Costa Rica, and often, more often than not, we'll have at least one traveler who gets car sick. So make sure that you bring Dramamine if you do. Also, we're going to be snorkeling, we're going to be whitewater rafting, so there's a lot of motion, a lot of movement. So if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, make sure you pack accordingly, okay? Also, Imodium or antidiarrheal. Whenever you're traveling, guys, and you're visiting new countries, there's new bacterias that your body might not be used to. It's very, very common that the food will be 100% hygienic and great, but it's very common for even a seasoned traveler to get a little bit of traveler's diarrhea when they're traveling. So bring something like that, Imodium or antidiarrheal diuretic to prevent that. Okay. Additionally, Tylenol, any kind of medication for headaches or pain or whatever is good. And then also like maybe an antihistamine, Zyrtec, Claritin, or Up and Up from Target, whatever. Different allergies. It's always good to have that kind of medication. If you have prescription meds and stuff like that, make sure that it's in its original bottle with the prescription on the outside, okay? If you have liquid medications that are larger than the 3-ounce bottles that we talked about, then you're going to have to check your bag on, okay? It's not a problem. Check it on, and we'll wait for it on the other side. Let's keep moving on. Let's see here. Sunscreen, we already covered that. SPF 50, okay? I recommend as a minimum, if you're fair-skinned, like very fair-skinned, get 100, get 80 or 100, okay? No matter what, I promise you will get brown down there. So don't worry about like, oh, I'm going to get a tan and this and that, because the locals are going to... They're going to think you're crazy, okay? The locals, you'll never see Ticos laying out in the sun. They know that it's harmful. They'll be chilling under the palm trees in the shade. And the only people you see laying on the beach are typically, gringos. And after a few hours laying on the beach, they regret it because they look like lobsters, and it's very painful. And you can very easily get a third-degree burn down there, awful blisters and stuff like that. So we're going to remind you daily, sunscreen, 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 and lots of water. Okay, guys? So make sure to pack that. If you're bringing, you have to bring a camera down to Costa Rica, or you should, because it's absolutely beautiful. Everywhere you turn, there's something spectacular to see. Waterproof cameras are, of course, recommended. If you don't have a waterproof camera, then bring your normal camera. and make sure that make sure you have it in the Ziploc baggie to keep it safe. Okay, but there will be lots of opportunities for underwater shots and stuff like that, especially when we're snorkeling and when we're whitewater rafting. You might want to get a few photos. That somebody always has one of the GoPros or something, and so we can always get photos off of them, and then we'll be taking a lot of pictures as well. So whatever kind of camera you have, bring it down. Just make sure you take care of it properly. Guys, if you have, I recommend bringing the least amount of valuables down as possible. Okay, just whatever you're like. Definitely don't bring a laptop. Okay, whatever you're bringing down there. Decide prior to the trip, if I lose this, is it going to put a damper on my trip? And if the answer is yes, then don't bring it, because we want you to have an absolutely amazing time. So don't bring something that you really, really care about, like jewelry and stuff like this. Please don't bring that down. Please don't bring expensive electronics, okay? Make that decision. If I lose it, will it put a damper on my trip? Okay, if the answer is yes, leave it, all right? But that brings me back to the initial point, is that smartphones. Nowadays, most people have smartphones, and I highly recommend using your smartphone as your travel device. You've got your photo, you've got your video, you have your calculator to do currency conversions, you have your alarm clock to wake up in the morning, and you also have your Wi-Fi right there. So most of the places we're staying, every place except for Kawita has Wi-Fi, okay? And actually, my guide Ludwig, who you'll meet, he told me that Spencer's now does have Wi-Fi. I haven't seen it in person, so I'm not going to guarantee it. But there is an internet cafe just a block away that you can go and use. It's like $1 for an hour. So you'll definitely be able to stay in touch. You'll definitely be able to use the Wi-Fi, upload pictures, this and that, or whatever. A lot of people like to disconnect completely when they go down there, and I highly recommend it. It's like if you're going to a place, be there 100%, you know. Fully immerse yourself in that place and in that experience and in that trip. So, I encourage you to try to avoid being on social media constantly and kind of in the mix of what's going on back home. I want you to be in Costa Rica 100%, okay? And that brings up another point that's often asked: what kind of roaming packages, this and that, blah blah blah. Guys, I recommend turning your roaming off entirely. It's outrageously expensive. There's so many free applications that you can use with Wi-Fi now. You know, you have Viber, you have WhatsApp, you have the Facebook call, which is very, very clear. You have Skype, of course. I mean, there's so many. There's FaceTime. Use these apps. That's what they're there for. It's free calling. You can stay in touch with your people. Use those instead of getting an expensive roaming plan. I personally cannot recommend a roaming plan because I never use it. Okay, I always buy local SIM cards wherever I am and use that. If you do want to buy a local SIM card, we can help you with that, but I don't think it's necessary. In the case that you do need to make a call back home or something, that's what I'm there for. We'll make sure it happens. We won't leave you stranded. You're in good hands. We'll take care of you, okay? So like roaming, stuff like that, turn it off. Don't worry about getting an international calling plan. If you absolutely need it, figure it out on your own, okay? You might want to get a texting plan. Some people say that those are affordable, but again, I'm a frugal traveler. I like to use the free, all the free possibilities, okay, as much as possible. Padlock, guys, bring a padlock or a combo lock, because a combo lock's better. But bring a combo lock because a lot of the places we're staying have your own little personal lockers, so you can put your stuff in there, lock it, and then for the other places that don't have the lockers, we have the keys to all the hotel rooms and stuff like that. Okay, so again, don't bring down a lot of valuables, first of all. And the next thing, even though the people in your room are from your program, be smart. Don't leave a bunch of money laying out on the bed. Don't leave a bunch of valuables out, okay? I always sleep with my wallet under my pillow. So it's either on me personally, or at night when I go to bed, it's under my pillow, okay? That's just good practice. So, and smart travel. Do that, okay? Don't leave your stuff laying out, and you'll be fine. Costa Rica, physical crime is almost non-existent, okay? You won't get assaulted, you won't get robbed or anything like that. But they do have a big problem with petty crime, okay? And that kind of goes anywhere you travel. You need to be smart, right? If you leave your camera out on the table and you in a bar or a restaurant or whatever, and you walk away from that table, most likely your camera's going to be gone, okay? Same goes with phones, same goes with any kind of expensive electronics. Binoculars, for example, if they're really expensive binoculars, that stuff is valuable, and that stuff will feed a family for a month. So keep that in mind, all right? Petty crime can be a problem in Costa Rica, but it's the same anywhere you go in the world, especially if there's tourists. There's going to be pickpockets, all right? So you need to be smart, and we'll constantly be warning you of this. If we see you kind of making a potential mistake or being a little bit too loose with where you're leaving your stuff, we will remind you. That's what we're there for. We go for 100% satisfaction, so we want to ensure that these things don't happen, all right? Guys, if you are bringing electronics, cell phones, iPads, etc., Kindle, make sure you bring the chargers for them, okay? There will be some downtime in the buses. Our longest bus ride is 4 hours to the Caribbean coast. The rest of the bus rides are typically about 2 to 2.5 hours, okay? We're always going to be playing music, but if you're picky and you like your own thing, or you don't like what we're playing, then bring your own, all right? Or if you want to share, we'll always plug someone else's iPod in, no problem. Passport, guys, you have to have a passport to travel. I hope that you've already arranged for it. If not, you need to do it ASAP, and you're going to have to pay to get it expedited, okay? But bring your passport, and also make sure that you make a few photocopies of your passport. If you lose your passport, having a photocopy of it will make it a lot easier for us to get a replacement. So we'll go to the embassy in San Jose. We'll get your replacement. You're going to have to pay $100, $150 to get it replaced, and then you're good to go. But make sure you have a few photocopies and put those in different bags. So one in your day pack, one in your main bag, and maybe one in a pair of cargo shorts or something, okay? Promise me something. Next thing's about money. Please, please, please promise me that you're not going to bring down all of your spending cash in US dollars, okay? Please, please, please don't do that. Someone always does this, and that's why I repeat it. I apologize if this is annoying, but please don't do that. The reason is a couple reasons. One, you might lose it. Two, you might get pickpocketed. And three, most importantly, if you're wanting to convert your dollars into colones, you're losing a lot of money. That's how those places make business. That's how they're running. They're making business off of the conversion rates. It's extremely expensive, and it's not worth it. You're just wasting money. So the best thing that you can do is take down a debit card, withdraw local colones directly out of the ATM. Depending on your bank, it will cost anywhere from $2 to $5 per transaction. So you don't want to go and just withdraw $10, withdraw $10, withdraw $10. You're not getting good value for your money that way. You want to withdraw, $100 here, and maybe $100 here or something. If you need advice on, well, how much money are we going to need for the next couple of days? That's what I'm there for. We'll tell you. We'll give you accurate budgets, and I'm going to talk about some sample budgets a little bit later on. Give you some samples of like kind of what you need, what most students tend to spend, and talk about meal prices and stuff like that. Okay, a little bit later. But yeah, bring down debit cards. Costa Rica is a very cash. It's a cash country. So basically, if you're gonna pay with a credit card or you're gonna pay with a debit card, they're gonna charge you 3%, okay, plus any international fees that your bank might charge you. So the best way, debit card, withdraw local currency, cash in hand, do it that way. You can pay for a lot of things in US dollars. It's very common in Costa Rica. They actually prefer it sometimes. But I wouldn't recommend bringing all your spending money in U.S. cash. Now, if you want to have an extra like $50 or $100 or whatever in U.S. cash, that's fine. Bring that down, no worries. Just to help you get through the airports or for some initial spending in case you run out of colones and you see something that you really want to buy. But yeah, a debit card, a backup possibly, preferably, in case it gets damaged or lost or something. In the worst case scenario, if your card gets damaged, it's the only one you have a loved one make a deposit into my account. I'll cash the money out for you and provide it to you, okay? Same goes with credit cards, guys. You will get charged at 3% down there, so I highly recommend debit card, debit card, debit card, all right? Moving on, travel checklist. Complete the sign up now form at Oklahoma Study Abroad. You've all done that. Thank you. Send me a photocopy or a scanned copy of your medical form. This is completely confidential. We only need to know about the things that you think we need to know about. But the reason we have this medical form is in the case of emergency, we need to take you to the hospital. We need to know what you're allergic to, everything like that, okay? So that way we can provide that information to your physician there, your doctor. Costa Rica has global health care, which means that if you need surgery or you need immediate care, they're going to take care of you no matter what. More often than not, they do it free of charge, okay? Sometimes they'll be polite and they'll say, hey, do you by any chance have insurance, so we can charge your insurance agency? But we've taken a few travelers in the past to the clinics, and they treated them free of charge, okay? So it's not like in America, it's only U.S., they're not going to let you bleed out or anything like that. They'll take good care of you, all right? And they have excellent health care, excellent health care. Amazing doctors down there. You need your passport. We already talked about that. Very important, guys. You need to notify your bank that you're going to be out of the country from May 18th to 30th. Call them, remind them, make sure they put a note on your account. The reason is, if you're down in Costa Rica and you didn't call your bank, they're going to freeze your account. They're going to think that it's fraud, and then we have to call your bank, and we have to go through the whole process again. So please take care of it before the trip, so that way we don't have any delays during the program. All right. You need to make sure that you arrange transportation to and from the airport of the days of departure. Again, I've sent the flight confirmations out. If you didn't receive it, let me know. I'll resend it, but make sure that you arrange your ride to and from the airport. All right. Let's keep moving on. Adequate money for the trip. Okay, so this is completely dependent on personal spending habits. You guys have daily breakfast and all of your dinners included. So that means that you need spending money for lunch money, okay? Costa Rica, a typical like good meal, like a big meal, is gonna cost you anywhere from $5 to $7. Really good, really big, definitely hold you over. You can do it for cheaper. You know, you can get empanadas and other kind of street food and stuff for cheaper. But on average, you know, budget 5 to 7 and you'll be able to eat very well. If you do want to go to like some fancier seafood restaurants or stuff like that, we can recommend some places for you, but you definitely won't spend more than $12 or $15, and it's very fresh, very good food. Build in the money. So, you know, if the trip's 2 weeks, times that by $6, for example, your lunch money's covered. Souvenirs and things like this. In my opinion, the best souvenir to bring from Costa Rica is coffee and chocolate. They have some of the world's best coffee, and they also have amazing organic chocolate, which you're going to get to learn how to make, and you can buy it directly from them. It makes excellent presents. They're authentic presents. If you want to buy other kind of things, you know, more Costa Rica kind of souvenirs, you know, those tend to be around, you know, maybe $5 per souvenir. We're going to save the souvenir shopping for the last day of the trip. We're in San Jose, and we're going to take you to a special market where they have absolutely everything that you've seen from around the country. It's on the last day, so you don't have to worry about creating all that stuff around the whole trip. It won't get damaged. You know, your pack won't be heavier. And in addition, the place is you can haggle. It's haggle friendly, so you can talk them down in price, and we'll get you the local price. That's what the guides are there for. You know, if they're giving you a gringo price, we're gonna say, come on, man, give them the real deal, and they typically will honor that. And we'll talk about that more when we get on the ground. But yeah, so make sure you bring adequate money. If you want to do other kind of like your program's jam packed with awesome activities. So, but if there is other stuff that you want to do, like for example, if you want to do 2 hours of surfing with rental, that's going to cost you about $50. If you want to do zip lining, for example, that's going to cost you $50. If you want to do parasailing, stuff like that. So additional activities, those are going to tend to run about $50. But I mean, you guys are already going whitewater rafting, you're going coral reef snorkeling, we're doing the Caribbean bike cruise, lots of hiking, lots of cool stuff. So, but if you're a journaling junkie and you need to do more, make sure you build in money for that, okay? Trip materials from professors. If you're taking the courses and stuff like that, make sure you have everything that they require. Go directly to them for that information. Make sure that your bags are packed within the airline regulations. The email I send you here is going to have the dimensions and everything like that. Make sure that your bag's packed within those dimensions so you don't have any issues at the airport. Pack lightly, follow our recommendations, guys. It will definitely ensure a smoother trip. And provide the contact information that's on the back page of this to your loved ones. So in the case of emergency, they need to get a hold of you. They can reach you. Additionally, I've included my number in here. They can reach me on that number. It'll go directly to voicemail, but I have it connected through the internet. So it'll go to voicemail, they leave a message, and then we'll contact them back as soon as we're in a Wi-Fi zone, okay? Let's see here. Electricity. Guys, Costa Rica is on the same voltage as USA, so that's perfect. You don't need a converter. And additionally, their electrical sockets are the same as in USA, so you don't need an adapter. Everything will work down there, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer to charge things, but we'll talk about this when you hit the ground. Currently, the conversion rate, $1 equals 525 Costa Rican colones. When we hit the ground, we'll have a lot of money to show you guys. We'll talk about how to make it easier on yourself, doing the conversions and all that. But $1, 525 colones. All right. Now, let's move on to the itinerary. We'll go over this, and so that way you know what to expect. Again, I'm going to send you the itinerary. You're going to have all of this, all right? You start researching the locations we're visiting. That'll help you get a little bit more excited about the trip in advance, and additionally, you'll have a little bit of pre-knowledge so you can sound smart to your friends. May 18th, you guys are going to go to the airport 2 hours before departure, and then you're going to fly to either Houston and Houston to San Jose. Myself, Ludwig, and Tito will be waiting for you at the airport, so you won't miss us, and we definitely won't miss you. So just go through the passport control, go through the little customs area, keep heading to the exit, and we'll be right there waiting for you. All right. The plan is once you arrive, you guys are due to arrive at 8:45 p.m. If you're with NSU, okay? If you're with NSU or the OCCC group, you guys should arrive at 8:45 p.m. What we're going to do is we're going to pick you up, and we're going to get back to the hostel. It's about a 30-minute drive. And then once we get there, we'll have our welcome dinner, and we'll have our program orientation. The next morning, bright and early, we're heading out at 6 a.m. to the Caribbean coast, okay? Apologize for the early wake up, but we're going to do a lot while we're down there. So you can sleep on the bus if you want to, but you're going to miss all that beautiful scenery. So get a good night's sleep the night before. Go over there. You can sleep after the trip. You can sleep on the plane, all right? 4-hour drive to the Caribbean coast. That morning, we're going to have breakfast to go, so it's not going to be your typical Costa Rican breakfast. It's going to be fruit, granola, and yogurt, all right, to go. The typical Costa Rican breakfast is black beans and rice, called gallo pinto, with eggs, plantains, avocados, cheese, tortilla, amazing coffee, and juice. So it's a huge breakfast, most important meal of the day. It will keep your metabolism up for the rest of the day. And I guarantee one thing, if as long as you don't drink too much on the trip, you'll definitely come home healthier and in better shape than before the trip, 100% guaranteed. The food's delicious down there. It's very healthy. It's organic. It's good stuff. So anyway, we're going to go to the Caribbean coast. It's a 4-hour drive. We'll get you checked into Spencer Seaside. It's right on the Caribbean Sea. It just the way you sleep to the surf. It's gorgeous. It's a rustic jewel. I can't wait for you to see it. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There's hammocks everywhere, palm trees everywhere, so it's gorgeous. That afternoon, we'll get a little bite to eat, and then we're going to do a wildlife tour in Cahuita National Park. So as I've mentioned, we have 2 universities on this trip, USAO and NSU, and 4 students from the Oklahoma City Community College. Since that is a larger group, about 25 students, we're going to be splitting the groups into smaller groups for the wildlife tours and the activities. So that way you still have that nice small group experience. Each group will have a local guide, okay? So when we're going on the wildlife tours in the national parks, they're going to teach you all about the flora and the fauna. They're going to teach you about natural medicines, what you can do with these plants and this and that. The guys are geniuses. They're very, very smart. They're totally in touch with the environment. They're naturalist guides. They're valuable. Their knowledge is invaluable. So you're definitely going to learn a ton from them. You're going to get to eat termites, for example. They'll teach you how to survive in nature. So it's spectacular. I love the wildlife tours. And, of course, you're going to see a ton of wildlife. You're going to see sloths. You're going to see toucans. You're going to see all kinds of reptiles. You're going to see all different types of primates. On the Caribbean coast, you're mainly going to see the howler monkeys, the big black ones. Sound like lions when they roar. So don't worry, there's no big cats down in the jungle, but those are actually the howler monkeys. And we'll see a ton of them. We'll be at the national park, and also while we're at the national park, we'll do a bit of national park cleanup, beach cleanup, and stuff like that. We'll have some hefty bags, and we'll just pick up rubbish and trash and things that don't need to be in the environment. We like to work with the local communities that we're visiting, and the best way that we can do that is to show our appreciation and help keep their national park clean. Okay, Cahuita National Park is the only national park in Costa Rica that is based off of donations. And to help keep it that way, guys, we need to assist a little bit. So every time Oklahoma goes down there, the people love us. They get excited. We work with their elementary school if the students are behaving properly. Last year we didn't get to because the students were being naughty. So the headmistress she said nope, not this year. But hopefully we'll get to do something with them as well. But if not, we can definitely help take care of the environment. So national park, wildlife tour, free time. There's excellent hiking trails, pristine beaches, very, very beautiful. Just go swimming in the water. You can chill in the hammocks, or you can just go explore on the trails a little bit more if you like. That evening, we'll go to the Sea Turtle Conservation Project. We're working directly with a community in Gandoca. It's one of the most popular beaches for leatherback sea turtles, as well as the green sea turtles and the hawksbill. They all come there to lay eggs. and we're working with that community to help preserve this. There's three problems with, and well, probably more than three, but the main three problems with the sea turtles and the decline in their population is due to natural predators, yeah, birds and things like that eating the turtle eggs, human predators, eggs and things like that being sold on the black market, and then also just them not being able to make it out to sea, the turtles, or just the natural elements conflicting with that. So we're working directly with this project. What we do is you're going to learn all about the sea turtles. They're going to tell you about the project. They're going to tell you what they do. But in short, what happens is a sea turtle comes on the beach. She'll go kind of into this trance for about 45 minutes to 1 hour where she lays her eggs. And they're genius. They'll dig a fake hole, and then they'll move over, and then they'll lay the eggs in another hole. So I mean, over the I don't know how many years, thousands of years, millions of years of evolution, they've developed this technique, and it's amazing. So what the guides do is when they're laying their eggs, they'll go and they'll collect the eggs, and then they'll take them to some controlled areas on the beach where they'll put them in the sand or in makeshift like incubators and wait for the eggs to hatch. And then once they hatch, they actually put them back to sea. Those sea turtles that are put back to sea and actually make it will return to that beach in the future to lay their eggs. They always come back to the same beach. So it's amazing. It's not guaranteed that you're going to see the sea turtles, guys, but you'll definitely see tracks of them because we're patrolling 5 miles, some areas 10 miles a beach at night. So it's not guaranteed that you're going to see them, but keep in mind that by us being there, we're helping to sustain that community, and we're helping to protect the sea turtle population. All right, so it's very important. The next day after the and that goes from about 8 p.m. till midnight, and we'll get back around 12:31 in the morning. That's the night you want to wear your dark clothing. The next day, guys, we're going to split Group A, Group B. So USAO will be doing one activity, NSU will be doing one activity, and then the following day we'll swap. Okay, so you're going to do everything, but we're not going to do it all together as one big group. So depending on which group you're in, that next day you're going to go coral reef snorkeling in Kawita National Park, as long as the water conditions are good. If it's too rough, we're not going to take you out there because it's dangerous for you, and it's dangerous for the coral, because if a strong current comes in or a wave comes in and it smashes you against the coral, we've just damaged it, and we need to preserve it. So as long as the water conditions are good, we'll get in there. It's very, very beautiful. In the afternoon on that day, after coral reef snorkeling, we're going to spend the day with the Bribri tribe. Incredible community. It's one of the biggest indigenous communities in Costa Rica, and you're going to learn all about medicinal plants, organic natural living, how you can survive off of nature. You're going to learn how to make chocolate by hand, the cacao. There's going to be cultural demonstrations. We're going to eat traditional food with them, and depending on how the shaman's feeling, he's 114 years old, depending on how he's feeling, you might also get to meet him. Okay, it's spectacular. These guys have thousands and thousands of years of knowledge about the environment, about the nature, about natural medicines and remedies and things that can help you, that are all around you. So it's a really spectacular day. You'll learn a ton of stuff, and they have some great waterfalls there that we're going to go to. The next day you'll swap. So if you did coral reef and Bribri that day, the next day you're going to be doing you'll be doing bird watching in the morning, followed up by the Caribbean bike cruise, where we go from Puerto Viejo to Manzanillo. And that entire route is a protected area. It's the Gandoca Manzanillo Wildlife Refuge, excuse me. And there's going to be tons of wildlife. It's about an hour-long ride on the bicycle. If you can't ride a bicycle, not a problem. We'll find another activity for you. We've had some travelers in the past that couldn't ride. But yeah, it's nice and smooth. There's a couple hills. The good thing is you get to go down the hill after you make it up. And then along the way, there's nice beaches. There's 3 nice beaches along the way, so we'll stop. You can go swimming, and then we'll carry on. Once we get to Manzanillo, we'll go have a big feast, nice Caribbean food. Typically, after that meal, most people go lay on the beach and sleep for a little while to digest, a kind of food coma, siesta. So if you want to do something else, there's great hiking around there. You can get a sea kayak, you can go around, or you can just hang out on the beach, enjoy the vibe. After that, we'll head back, and then we'll get back before sunset. And then that evening, if you wanna hang out in Puerto Viejo, you can. That's where the best nightlife is, in that area. So we can take you back there and take you out. Next day, guys. So it's 2 days there, yeah. The next day, we're going to be going as the entire group whitewater rafting on Rio Pacuare. Rio Pacuare has been voted in the top 10 rivers for whitewater rafting and scenic beauty for like the past 5 years by National Geographic and lots of other magazines and travel sources and things like this. It's absolutely gorgeous. The water is a bluish green color, very beautiful. There's waterfalls everywhere. It's great. We're just rafting down in this ravine. It's very, very, very beautiful, and we're gonna be on the water for about 4 hours. They have class 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so there'll definitely be a lot of adrenaline rush, and then there'll also be some easy riding. You're with professionals. They do it day in, day out. They're professional raft guides, so you're in good hands. We'll wear helmets. You're wearing life jackets. Safety is the number one priority. So don't be scared if you haven't done it before. I promise you'll have an amazing time. Okay. After we go whitewater rafting, 4 hours, we'll go have lunch, and then we're going to head up into the highlands. It's on the same route. We're going to head up into the highlands, up into the cloud forest, and we're going to check into our other place. We'll hang out that evening. We do group games, have a nice meal, and then the next morning we're going to wake up and we're going to go to Tapanti National Park. Tapanti National Park's great. Again, guys, lots of trails, waterfalls. We're going to have naturalists, wildlife guides with us, so they're going to do tours for you. And then after the tour, we'll do a little bit of park cleanup, pick up rubbish, trash, things that don't need to be there. And then that evening, we're hanging out as the group again. Nice dinner, just socialize. The next day, we're going to go to the Cartago Cathedral. It's the most beautiful, it's actually a basilica in Costa Rica. It's very, very beautiful. It's very old, and it's huge. It's very beautiful. And after we do that in the morning, we're going to go to Los Quetzales National Park, famous for the quetzal, beautiful blue bird. Check out pictures online. Hopefully we'll be able to see it because they're gorgeous. So I really hope that you get to see it. But there'll be lots of other wildlife there. It's perfect for birding. It's actually Los Quetzales is the newest national park in Costa Rica as well. So that's kind of special. That evening after the park, we'll be there for about 3 or 4 hours. We're going to continue on to Uvita, so it's 2 hours to the Pacific coast, and we're going to Uvita, Marino Ballena. That evening we'll relax. We're staying at Hotel Toucan. It tends to be the most popular hostel hotel on the itinerary. All the places are great, but this place is very special. They've created something amazing. The owner, Trey, and Trey's from the States, and then Elisabetta, she's from Italy. They're great. Elisabetta's going to cook for us each night, so we'll have really good, really healthy, delicious Italian food while we're there. And yeah, the place is, you'll see what I mean when we get there. It has a really, really cool vibe. Anyway, so we're going to relax that evening, have a good meal, go to bed, and then the next day, one group will go to Marino Ballena National Park, and then one group will go to the waterfalls, hiking, and to the bamboo forest. So we split the groups again on that day into smaller groups. If you're going to Marino Ballena National Park, we'll go when the tide's low, so you can go out onto Tombolo. It's called the Whale Tail. The park's not named the Marino Ballenas for the marine whale national park, yeah. So it's not named after the whale tail. It just happens to complement the name. It's actually called the whale park because of the humpback whales that migrate there through the fall and winter. But yeah, we'll go out there. There's thousands of palm trees. There's endless beaches, and then there's the natural formation of Tombolo, also known as Moses's Path, because it splits the water, and you'll be able to figure it out. And there's water that comes on each side, and it's just very, very, very special, very beautiful place. And we'll spend the day out there. For the other group, that's the next day when you're going hiking waterfalls in the bamboo forest. There's great trails around there. We can really kind of get into the jungle a little bit. The waterfall's great. There's nice swimming, and there's also a waterfall slide that you can go down. Make sure you sign your waivers before you do that. And then the bamboo forest is just very impressive. It's huge. It's about 100 years old, and it's massive. So it's just really cool to go see all of that bamboo. And so that's 2 days. One day you do the park. One day you do the hiking, waterfalls, and bamboo forest. Evenings, relaxing, chilling, watching movies, catching up on your Wi-Fi, whatever you need, and just socializing. Next day, guys, we're going to head north of the Pacific coast. We're going to go to Manuel Antonio. Manuel Antonio is the first national park in Costa Rica. It's also the most visited national park in Costa Rica. That first day we get there, it's about a 2-hour drive from Uvita. So after breakfast, we'll hit Manuel Antonio. We'll get checked in. And then that first day is kind of a free day. We'll kind of show you around town. We'll show you where the market is there. If you want to do some souvenir shopping, I would recommend waiting till the end. And then we'll go to the public beach. So you can go to the public beach where you can do surf lessons, you can do parasailing. That'll be the day when you want to go zip lining, all these kinds of things. And then the next morning is when we'll actually do the wildlife tour, San Antonio National Park / park cleanup and things like this. They've actually, thankfully, they've made some new trails there. It used to be a lot of the trails we were on. They also had vehicles that worked for the park that would come down there, and just too many tourists that were coming down the trails that weren't there for the wildlife per se. They were there for the pristine beaches. So they've actually made some new trails where we can kind of get into it a little bit more. It's more quiet. You can enjoy the nature more, and you can be closer to the nature. I'm very thankful for that. And you'll be in contact with each guide that we have there. They're great, very knowledgeable, and it'll be the same thing. Small groups, one local guide giving you the wildlife tour. After that day, after the tour, you guys are free they have 3 beaches there that are really nice. You can hang out on the beaches, or you can go back to the public beach, or you can do whatever you want. You're free. You can go hiking. There's lots of trails. That evening, we're going to have our beach barbecue party. Very cool experience. We did this last year. It was a great time. This year, we've taken it up a notch, and so there's going to be canopies and stuff like that to keep us dry if it starts to rain in the evening. We're going to have music. We're going to have food. There's going to be fresh tropical fruit drinks and stuff like that. And this is kind of our last proper night to just really hang out as a group and get to know each other a little bit more, and just really kind of think back and enjoy what we've done so far on the trip. So that'll be the beach barbecue party that night. And then the next morning, depending on the tide, that might be a day that you want to do your surf lessons also before we go back to San Jose. The next morning, we'll have breakfast, and we're going to transfer back to the capital city, San Jose. That's a 4-hour drive from San Antonio to San Jose. And once we get to San Jose, we'll drop the bags, and then we'll take you guys downtown, show you some important parks, some important cathedrals in San Jose, and most importantly, like the Central Market. And we'll take you to where you can buy the best roasted coffee in Costa Rica for the cheapest price. And like I said, guys, it's the best gift that you can bring back from Costa Rica is the coffee and the chocolate for sure. So we'll get you loaded up with that, and then we'll take you to the souvenir market, and you can buy all those souvenirs that you've been wanting to buy the whole trip, and we'll help you haggle the prices down. We'll go back to the hostel. We'll have an earlier dinner around like 8 p.m., and then after dinner, we'll say our goodbyes, and then we're going to transfer to the airport. The flights are at 12:30 a.m., so it's a night flight. So what we'll do is we'll get to the airport around 10:30 p.m., and we'll get you checked in and everything. We'll say goodbye, and you'll be back on your way back to Oklahoma. And then make sure you check your flight confirmation so you can tell your family what time to pick you up the next day. Guys, very important. It says it on the back of the itinerary. Not included in the program is the Costa Rica departure tax. It's $28, and basically Costa Rica says, thank you for visiting. We hope you had a good time, but now pay us so we can keep it beautiful for your next visit. This is mandatory. Everyone has to pay it. Even Ticos have to pay it. So make sure you budget that. You can pay that in local currency, or you can pay that in US dollars. $28. Make sure you have that in the back of your wallet or purse saved so you can get out of the country. Okay? It's mandatory. You have to do it. Other than that, guys, everything else is included. Daily breakfast, dinners, lunches, you have to cover on your own. We'll show you cheap places to eat, or if you're looking for something fancier, we'll show you those places as well. Make sure that you bring enough money to cover those activities, and you'll be good to go. That's the itinerary, guys. It's going to be an amazing experience. I'm really happy that you guys are all coming down. We're going to have an amazing time, and you're going to one of the most beautiful countries in the world. It's smaller than West Virginia. It has 5% of the world's biodiversity. They're setting examples for countries worldwide on national park systems and environmental conservation. The people are absolutely beautiful. They're very, very friendly. They'll give you absolutely everything. And they're very positive people. One thing you need to learn is the local motto. The Costa Rican motto is Pura Vida, which means pure life. And they take that very seriously. They take that seriously with physical health, and they take that seriously with mental health. So the people are they're very pure, they're beautiful, and you're going to love them for sure. Guys, if you have any other questions, anything that I didn't cover, please let me know. Send me an email, and I'll be in touch with you as soon as possible. Make sure you go over the itinerary, make sure you go over the packing list, etc. And follow our recommendations. The trip will be much smoother that way. And other than that, I can't wait to see you on May 18th in San Jose. Get ready for an incredible trip. We're going to have a ton of fun. Pura vida, guys. I can't wait to see you. Like I said, feel free to contact me with any questions, or contact Dr. Turdal, and we'll be able to answer anything you need. All right. See you soon. Have a good day. Bye bye.